The myth of the greengrocer. Like every other business owner in town, he puts up the sign in his window that says, "Workers of the world, unite." Nobody believes it, but they put that communist slogan there because they don't want trouble. Well, what happens one day when the greengrocer decides to take that sign down from his window? Well, the secret police come. They arrest him. He loses his business. When he gets out of jail, he's got to work as a street sweeper. He's humiliated. His family loses privileges, and on and on. He really pays a price for his dissent. But what has he gained by that? Havel says he has shown the world that it is possible to live in truth, to live in integrity, if you are willing to suffer for it. And if enough people do that, said Havel, everyone will start to question all the lies the system is built on.
You're trapped in an illusion. You want to keep your job although you hate it because you're afraid of the alternative. But you're discounting the risk of maintaining your current course. And you're suffering under the delusion that there's a pathway forward that does not involve suffering. And that's simply not true. What you have is the option of picking your suffering. And so the problem with the greengrocer who puts the slogan up in his window is he thinks that he's avoiding suffering, but he's not. He's delaying it and amplifying it for his future self. Conflict delayed is conflict multiplied. And if I have to pick suffering right now because I'm going to say what I bloody well think, and suffering later way more intensely with way more other people because I refuse to say what I think, I'm going to pick the former. And I'm not going to delude myself that there's some safe path that involves lying, because there isn't. That's another thing. Well, another reason I liked your book is, and this is Solzhenitsyn's, what would you call it? His key insight in some sense is that you think that lying protects you. That's wrong. And you think, well, how could it possibly protect you? What you're trying to do is to adapt to the world. And if you lie so that you're no longer adapted to the world, then you're going to run into sharp objects and fall into holes non-stop. And the blinder you are, the sharper the objects and the deeper the holes. When you really understand that, like once I understood Solzhenitsyn's connection between lying and the totalitarian state, well, there's no way I'm going to say things that are false, because that's the road to hell. Not metaphysically, not philosophically, actually, really, for sure, this will happen. And as a clinician, this is one of the things that also terrified me. I never saw anyone ever get away with anything. The chickens always came home to roost. People paid for every sin. What's the old idea? There's a book where everything you've ever done is written down. Yeah, that book, that's reality itself. And you do not have the power to twist or distort reality.